want to talk to you about Mnozil Brass. M-N-O-Z-I-L. Mnozil Brass. Look them up on YouTube. They're fantastic. So, I've been watching them for years. They've been on YouTube for years. And their lead trumpet player, Thomas Gonch, designed a horn by Shea Girl in Austria and endorsed it, and I did a review online. That doesn't really mean a whole lot other than I have a tiny connection with them because I love that horn that Thomas Gonch designed. And the only reason I thought about it was that I saw him playing it and thought, that looks like the perfect B-flat trumpet. It's the only trumpet I've ever seen that you can play with one hand and do push-ups with the other, if you're strong enough to do something like that. But tonight in Charlotte, I got a chance to go see the Mnozil Brass, like to go to their concert. I've known about this for a few months. When I heard they were coming to town, I went online and bought the best possible tickets. And there was a debate here in the household because I wanted to bring everyone, Toby, Jojo, Landon, who still can't sit through a movie, but that's another story for another day, but he can't sit through a movie. And Toby advised me that Landon's not ready to sit through a Mnozil Brass concert, and I thought, okay, that's fair enough. But I bought 2 tickets, and I knew I was taking JoJo, and we went. And I just want to say this to the Mnozil guys, like, way to go. What a show. I hadn't seen brass played like that in a long time. There was a precision to their playing, intonation, dexterity, flexibility, accuracy, rhythmic perfection in almost everything. Although there were a couple times that they were enjoying themselves so much that they kind of got off of it, which was great. Like, that's music, you know. It wasn't off in any kind of way that was hard to listen to. It was great to listen to because they were having so much fun that they mixed it up. And you could tell that that happens probably every concert. They have some amount of improvisation, and that's excellent. Although most of it, you can tell, was timely practiced over hours and hours, if not days and days and weeks, by a lot of very skilled musicians. Although the obvious great ones in that group are Thomas Gonch and the tuba player. His name's hard to say, so you'll have to look it up. But he did fabulous, excellent job with that tuba of his. I just want to say, so I tried to get through to Thomas Gonch before the show and say I was coming. I wanted to let him know that, hey, I can come and bring my cameras and film and take some photos of you guys, and it'll be great for you guys. And I had a feeling I wouldn't get through to him, and I was right. He may have seen it, but I'm sure he had other things on his mind. But when I got there, big signs on the doors, no photography, no videography. Okay, that's fine. I do that great. I'd love to do it when I go to a Mnozil Brass concert, but it didn't work out. So even I have my tiny little Leica camera that shoots 4K kind of hidden away, and I decided not to use it. But I took a couple of photos with my iPhone X, which I put on Instagram, or at least I put one of them on Instagram. I might put more. Nonetheless, my beautiful little daughter sitting there through this whole entire concert, absolutely enthralled, because most of the audience were hoary heads. Jojo pointed out that there were a few young people in the audience. She goes, there are a few kids here, and I looked around, and they were more like junior high age, like in new brass players. Like that's when I got my start, 13 years old, on trombone. They were more like teenagers. I didn't see anyone under 10, and of course JoJo's 7. And we were right there in the third row, towards the center. And from the very beginning, when Thomas Gonch walked out, he knew, I mean, I guess he knew because I had sent him a message, but he recognized me from my video because I know he watched the whole video that I reviewed his horn. And he gave me like a smile and a wink, and that was awesome. And then he looked over at Johanna, who was sitting next to me, and that was it. Like all the people in the band, it was just wonderful. They saw all these guys who were there to see them, and that was fun. But like Johanna was sitting there with me, and she was having the greatest time. And she was so cute and beautiful and cheering, and she was so excited. And those guys were flirting with her. They were playing for, I mean, in a good way, a wholesome way, you know, but just they were looking at her and playing for her and smiling and giving her thumbs up, and like everything they did, like they kind of focused in on her. And that's a good thing to do when you're speaking in front of an audience, to speak to the whole audience, but also to focus in on a few people, even one person, but just somebody that will kind of influence and stir you up. And to see that happen, and to hear Johanna's remarks on the way home from the concert, that was the best night of her life. And she's a princess. She's seen some of the greatest shows on earth as far as money could buy in Vegas or whatever, some very fancy shows, but she was so excited about it, and she couldn't stop talking about it. And she was maybe considering, or at least excited about, playing brass. To actually be there and to hear a bunch of, she hears her dad play, and on the tuba I'm okay, on the trumpet it's sometimes absolutely terrible, but she hears me playing and she doesn't really get a sense of it. So right there in her face, she had these 7 men that were just chiseled and fine-tuned and perfect, fantastic, playing jazz, playing classical, playing just pretty slow folk songs right there, like in front of her face. And I kept looking over at her, and I'd look at them because they were so entertaining. They're so entertaining. And I'd look over at her, and so look over at them. There's not a lot of good family entertainment. There were 2 moments. Hey, Mnozil, you're watching this? There were a couple moments of a tiny little bit of PG-13 R-rated things, like fingers that shouldn't have been tossed out. Not that one. And then, I don't know, JoJo thought that when you unbuttoned a couple of your buttons that it was provocative or maybe inappropriate. I don't really think so. You guys are funny, and she's old enough to get, like I talked to her about it, that's satire and that you weren't going any further with that. And the licking of the ear, that was a little weird. That was one of her comments. But other than that, and that doesn't bother me at all, it was just an absolute pleasure and joy to go see Mnozil Brass. So if you're out there, they don't pay me anything. I know Thomas Gonch through the internet. He plays trumpet. I mean, he can play that horn better than most people in the world, especially when it comes to a whole company of genres. There aren't a whole lot of people who can just do that, and Wynton and Thomas, and there's probably another 50 people who can do that, maybe 100. But to see him in this band he created, and to hear those horns right in our face a few feet away, and to watch my daughter jump up and down. If they're coming to your town, go see them. There shouldn't be any empty seats in a theater there. If your kid is interested in music in any way, And I'm talking about you people who are like rock and roll fanatics and all that, and you're listening to pop, or you listen to classic rock or whatever. If you want your kids to be into music, let them hear 7 full-fledged horns, you know, like a tuba, 3 trombones, and 3 trumpets, basically. Just blow your mind off with like precision and accuracy and beauty and power and fun and magic and ingenuity and comedy and creation. What a show. What a show. Go see Mnozil Brass. Go see them. Take your kids to see them. There's nothing else like it. I saw them on YouTube. I've wanted to see them forever. They came to Charlotte. As soon as the tickets went on sale, I got the best seats I could. And they weren't that expensive. And it was a special moment for us. It really was a special moment for us. That's about all. Love you guys. Go see Mnozil Brass. You will not regret it. Take care.